to Vintage Super League. Hello and welcome. I love it. Bob Maher has brought Paradoxical Storm to the table. And Rachel is indeed on a Mentor deck. Don't know if this is the Sylvan version of the Mentor deck, but we'll have to see how that plays out.
Wow, look at Bob's hand. Oh, and he's not on the... She doesn't have a counterspell. She does have a Great Hand herself because she has Ancestral Recall on a blue source.
Right. She also doesn't know what he's on, so that's an obvious keep. Even I think you'd keep that even if you knew you were playing against Storm, but it's a little weaker there.
Yeah.
Can Bob get down the first turn Mind's Desire?
Well, and he can first turn Outcome. He could, let's see, one.
Yeah, he cannot quite get to 6 mana, I don't think.
3, 4, yeah, he can. Because 2 Moxes in a land is 3, Chrome Mox is 4, and Grim Monolith is +1. So
yeah. He's just short of turn 1 Mind's Desire.
But he can turn 1 Outcome, returning 4 permanents.
He can. Yeah, he has to exile a card with the Chrome Mox to pull that off, but it might be worth it. It's not crazy to just ponder here. I mean, I don't think I would do it, but like I can imagine trying to build up to a Desire, right? Once he goes Mox, Monolith, he can't really Mind's Desire as effectively next turn.
But I mean, I think if you Outcome and return your 3 Moxes and your Monolith, if your 4 cards you're hitting, you very well may be able to hit a Mox Opal and still Mind's Desire afterwards, and it's going to be even larger because you've replayed all those Moxes.
Yep, I like it. I think you're right. Looks like that's where Bob's headed. Flooded Strands, presumably going to get a blue land.
I hope he plays his Chrome Mox for no reason.
Yeah, Chrome Mox for 0.
There it is. He worried me when he fetched land first. I said, oh man, is he about to Outcome without... Because he is pretty tired, he said. So, but he's tight. He's playing tight.
And Rachel did get to resolve her Ancestral during Bob's upkeep, but no Force of Will, no nothing.
Shields down. Yeah, shields down. This is going to be gross. And he hit 2 Mox Opals, so we're going to see a Mind's Desire and a Gataxian Probe. This Mind's Desire is going to be enormous.
Can you say turn 1 kill, boys and girls?
Wow.
I think we're about to see a turn 1 kill. We haven't had one this year.
No, this is incredible.
Yeah, we've only had a handful in the history of the Vintage Super League, but I think Bob's going to get this.
Sorry, Rachel, we gotta root for the turn 1 kill. I mean, even if I'm on the other side, it's still kind of cool to see it happen, just because it just doesn't happen hardly ever. Even though it used to be known as a turn 1 kill format, when in actuality that just never happens. What a hand!
Yeah.
So what did he get off of his Gataxian Probe?
I think it's off screen, but I mean, whatever. The hand that he's got already adds 6 to the Storm count. He's gonna Desire for 13 cards. Oh, it's a Sapphire.
You cast the Ponder first. Oh man,
boy.
This is incredible.
Yeah, you may as well Ponder. I mean, why Mind's Desire for 13 when you can do it for 15?
The problem is if he ponders and does not hit a card with colored man. I don't know. He has an Opal anyways. He can play a second Opal.
He can chain the Opals. He's totally fine. Storm count 14, and here comes turn 1 Mind's Desire. This is a card that's controversial in this list too. I like Mind's Desire in the Storm list. I run it. Bob obviously runs it too. It's a card that's not in all versions of this deck. He's all right. He's not going to bother with the Ponder. He'll settle for those. Maybe we can get his Exile Zone popped out. That's where all these cards are going to get.
Now I'm I just love chaos so much. This is where I want to see a fizzle. See a guy sit there for 14 and say go.
So all right, probe, mana. Oh, Time Twister. Okay, Time Walk.
Yeah, this is over.
Oh, Outcome. Now it's over. And a jar.
Jesus. And a Yawgmoth
Pool. Now, he would prefer not to have to cast the Twister or the Memory Jar because he knows right now Rachel has no defense. He knows that she can't counterspell anything. If he gave her a new hand, he'd have to worry about Force of Will. So his goal is to win this without ever giving her a fresh hand. He'll probably be able to.
Yeah, I like how you get the Lion's Eye Diamond and the Yawgmoth's Will, just in case he needs a lot more mana.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point he can Yogg well for Mind's Desire and just draw every single card in his deck. That's the fun thing you do with this deck. Sometimes you're like, I don't need to find a tutor. I don't need to find the tendrils. I'll just Mind's Desire for every single card in my library. Well, it's 29 cards in his library, and the storm count is 20. He's really not that far away.
Oh, he can play all those. Let's see, Force of Wills. He could play another Opal. He could play a Time Walk, and then a Memory Jar and an Outcome, and then there you go. He's off the races.
I mean, Paradoxical Outcome for 10 is the obvious line, but I'm on Yawgmoth's Will for Mind's Desire for 29. That's what I want to see. You would definitely find the tendrils if you play it that way.
What's he doing now?
Yeah, and at this point, Rachel's just watching to see if she can learn anything. She knows she's dead.
Oh, he's okay. Oh, it's the tendrils.
And we're done.
Turn 1 kill. Glad it's her, not me. Have a few more of these. This could be a quick night.
We'll see. I don't know. Do you think 27 copies of Tendrils is good enough here? 28 copies.
Come on, Bob. It's just, what are you doing? Just I was like, don't keep casting.
Making the black mana. You don't want to sack a Lotus Petal if you don't have to. And game 1 will go to Bob Maher. Storm against Mentor. Now, let's see what they've got in their sideboards. So Rachel's a Grixis Storm list.
By the way,
not the Green Splash. No Sylvans.
Welcome to the Vintage Super League, Rachel.
Yeah.
I mean, her first turn, she got. It would have been even sweeter if Bob won the die roll, just to be like, I never got.
Yeah, look, she had a turn. She resolved it except for recalls. She's playing. Did not.
So she's bringing in some Aethersworn Canonist. That's a hot one.
Aethersworn Canonist. That is wow. So mean. These were probably intended for me too. Serenity is good times. That'll be useful if you're right about Webb's deck choice.
And some Ingachures, and that's matchup. So she's also one of those.
I like the Sudden Shock. Sudden Shock is really good at killing Monastery Mentor. That's good. She had one main, it looked like, and another in the board. And meanwhile, I didn't see if Bob's got anything special. I mean, this matchup is like, all right, you go up however many defense grids you have, you board them in. But it's really, from Bob's perspective, it's what is her hate card that I need to deal with. So I know if I'm in Bob's seat, I'm just bringing in Chain of Vapor because whatever it is, I can bounce it. But like he doesn't know, is it going to be an Arcane Lab? Is it going to be a Canonist? Is it going to be Stony Silence? There's going to be something, some super annoying permanent.
Whatever his answers all of them the same. So it's not like he can have the wrong answer for the wrong hate card. Chain of Vapor just it's a catch-all, and they're basically all 2-drop white cards.
Yeah, the fact that she's got Canonist means he could use his Hercules here. I doubt he knows that. Like, you can't Hercules Stony Silence, which is why I usually don't even have Hercules in my deck in this matchup after sideboarding. But Hercules is useful when you're going off, right? You Hercules yourself is often a way to generate mana, generate storm count.
The sick part about Canonist and where it's better than Stony Silence, though, is as long as you have counter backup, your opponent can never stop you. Like when Bob announces it, if she has a counter spell, he has to say go and go to his next turn. So he has to build up more ways to remove the Canonist than she has counter spells available, or hope she plays a spell and he can catch her slipping. Like when she plays a spell, he can respond and then untap. But if he responds, she could replay it. So he has to do it in the end step. It's a hard one to beat.
It's a good point. All right. Game 2, Rachel gets to be on the play. 3 Mentors. She did also have Stony Silence. I didn't notice that, but that's a mulligan. It's got only a Mox Emerald for mana.
She has no land. Meanwhile, Bob's hand is busted as usual. He doesn't have an outcome, but he does have some.
It's not completely busted. The Opal's not turned on because there's only 2 artifacts. It's good.
It just got almost busted. Just got a lot worse because her new hand has a strip mine in it, which is going to get that Academy most likely. Unless he plays turn 1 Underground Sea and she decides to turn 1 it, then he'll have to follow up with the Academy. But I imagine he might play his artifacts in the Academy and then ponder leaving a blue in case he draws another cantrip.
Yeah, if Bob draws any Mox off the top, his hand is absurd. It's another turn 1 kill with a Desire probably. But as is, it only makes like 3 mana.
Yeah, if he draws an artifact, he's got. If not, she's got Strip Mine and Canonist, which are going to be big problems for him with this hand. And she's got a Mentor to follow it up with, so she's going to have hate cards and pressure to, not give him time to find answers.
Well, shields are down now. She preordains into nothing but a preordain. Bob draws an Underground Sea. Not really what he wanted.
He's going to have to ponder into precisely Black Lotus, I think.
Well, I like Underground Sea instead of Academy as his land drop. If he's not going to be going off this turn, if he's probably saving up Moxes and Academy for next turn, I think he's right to play the Underground Sea rather than the Academy. Oh, Ruby, DT, Git Probe? Those are good cards. I'm definitely keeping that stack.
So now if she strip mines instead of playing the Canonist, he actually can go off next turn. If she plays the Canonist, he's going to have to wait for an answer. So this will be interesting to see which choice she makes, because usually you want to strip mine your opponent as early as possible, but here you might want to just resolve the Canonist right away. But strip mining, you think, well, he didn't kill me with his one land now. If he has a land, why would he be able to get me this time? Academy changes all that, but you have to be cognizant and aware of Academy, and they have to have it. So
I'm a little bit surprised Bob played the Gitaxian Probe this turn. He could have held it for extra storm count next turn.
Right.
Now,
that's what he's drawing off of, and he's not going to really be able to use it.
He knows it's a Ruby. He knows he's basically setting up for next turn. I mean, he can't do anything with his hand this turn, right? He doesn't.
No, he can't do anything.
No, it doesn't do anything.
I agree with you. I would have waited on the probe.
And now he's like, please strip mine me. Please strip mine me. No, don't play Canonist.
And she drew a second.
Oh, she's playing the Canonist. Bob's hand just went from lethal to poop.
I think 2 Canonists actually is a lock, right?
Because jeez.
He can only bounce one, and then he has to bounce one instep, bounce one main phase, go off is the only way to do it. Because
hypothetically, he could still have the Blightsteel. He could have a Blightsteel Colossus in his deck to win with. I'm pretty sure he left it in the sideboard, but that is a way that you can win a game through a Canonist. His deck, if the Blightsteel's in his sideboard, like I think it is, you're right. He's cold to 2 Canonists. Hercules can deal with 2 Canonists hypothetically. Hercules, you end step, bounce them both. I don't know if there's a Hercules in his deck though. If he's got Chain, which is what he probably has.
It's there. Do we see?
He brought in the Deluge.
So if she gets greedy and goes, oh man, if she strip mine Canonist go and doesn't draw Force of Will here, this is going to be incredible.
That's what she's supposed to do. It's just a totally reasonable line by her.
No, I mean, I would do it. That's my play. I'm strip mining and playing second Canonist and saying, hey, good luck beating 2 Canonists.
Right. He brought in the Toxic Deluge. Oh my God. Is that why I keep losing with this deck? Am I supposed to bring Deluge in against Mentor? I guess I am.
And let's not forget, Canonist is not artifact spells, so he can still actually have turns where he can play artifact, and do stuff.
Yeah, and in fact, this turn is probably Mox, Lotus, Academy, Deluge, and then can't quite Twister? I mean, can't quite Desire?
Which is why I'm wondering why he's playing out all his artifacts if he's not going to be able to Desire.
It's close. The Yawgmoth's Will does not make mana. Yawgmoth's Will is -1 mana, but gets him access to a Demonic Tutor.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to why he didn't just play Academy, Deluge, Go, and hold his artifacts for...
Well, he clearly wants to try to win this turn.
Yeah, but I just don't think you can, right? He's only going to have 2 mana floating.
He's got access to 7 total mana right here. It's pretty close. Like he can Yawg Will for the Demonic Tutor.
So if he Yawg Wills, he'll have 1 floating, replay the Lotus Petal, he'll be back up to 2, play Demonic Tutor, but then what? I mean, even if he gets Lotus, that still leaves him 3 mana left. I feel like that was a mistake playing those artifacts.
Just because of this Lost Storm count?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand that. There's no days. She's not playing days. Like, why did he want to leave? I think he right now is thinking, oh man, I got 2 mana in my pool. What do? I think he's just now figuring that out. That there's not I mean, maybe I'm missing a line, but I don't see the line.
I think he was planning the Yawgmoth's Will. That's all he can do here is he can cast Yawgmoth's Will. What he's already played a land drop because the Academy was this turn. So the Yawg Will, he only gets 1. He gets 2 total mana. He gets the Lotus Petal twice.
Right. So then he could Demonic Tutor, and the best. I mean, you could get Black Lotus. I guess maybe he can get something, get an outcome for next turn.
Well, he's doing it. Yawgmoth's will has
he's kind of have to at that point. He's already.
And you get some value, right? You get to get Taxing Probe as well.
Play back his pedal. And yeah, if he detutors, he loses the pedal.
Well, he could ponder planning to Chrome Mox for the Demonic Tutor.
Yeah, but I think he really needs to keep that Force of Will up. It's clear she doesn't have a counter spell, so you want, he knows her hand.
Has he got a plan? What is he getting?
He's got to get an outcome here.
Outcome for next turn, sure.
Yeah, you're going to have 3 artifacts. You have lots of mana. Oh, wow, what a draw for Rachel.
Not bad.
I think if you're Bob, knowing her shields are down, you probably Force of Will this. Not really because you care about 3 cards, but mostly to prevent her from drawing a counterspell. I guess you could Force of Will the counter so she gets back, but if she gets something like Flusterstorm, I think it's just better. You get the added value of preventing her from going up on cards and not drawing a counterspell.
He's thinking about it. He saw her hand 2 turns ago, and then she did not have the second Canonist, so he knows what she drew last turn. I think he knows her exact hand.
Yeah, which is why I think you just Force of Will this.
I agree. And so does Bob. All right. This Preordained needs to be really good, Rachel.
She does have a blue card if she does find Force of Will.
Dak would be the pitch card.
So she is looking at 2 cards precisely for Force of Will.
Pretty much. No. Random land to turn on Mentor next turn. She's just got to hope Bob fizzles. It's not a great outcome, right? It's draw 3.
It's draw.
Oh, now it's probably draw 4.
Let's see, he can play the Mox for nothing. Tap the 2 Moxes for Defense Grid. Tap that for 4. Return them all. Yeah.
It's just a defense paying 2 mana to add 1 card to outcome. It's not exactly mana efficient, but he needs cards.
He needs cards. Mana. He's so low, and just drawing 3, it's very easy to fizzle here. So I think he has to do it because even if he doesn't win this turn, he wants to set up and put himself in position to have a robust next turn.
Yep, and he'll be able to replay the grid. Even if he fizzles. Wow. A bunch of mana and a Preordain. Let's see what we get with Preordain.
His Desire is already gone.
That's true. Storm doesn't really matter.
You don't really need Storm for your Tendrils because you do it post-outcome. So yeah, he can just get some artifacts on the board.
Any of the draw 7s would be great here. He's got the Defense Grid, so he's not worried about giving her a hand of 7. Tendrils.
Storm is 6.
Yeah.
18. 7, 8, 9.
Does he have it? He just has it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has it with the Mox Opal. She's dead.
She is.
That's 7. All he needs to do is.
That'll do. Preordain into the Tendrils of Agony. Storm count is just exactly high enough. Yeah, he doesn't need the mana there. Taps Ruby for Mana Vault. That's Storm count 9. Tendrils is Storm count 10. Wow.
And he
gets to play the Defense Grid first, too, I think.
Well, no,
if he removes Force of Will.
If he'd have to imprint the Force of Will and play Mana Vault, but then if she has a mental misstep, then all of a sudden he has to say go.
She doesn't have a misstep. She would have misstepped the Preordain. I played this the same way Bob did. Yeah, Defense Grid, just in case. I think he's even seen all her cards. I think he knows both those cards.
Oh, yeah, he knew her card. He knew her hand, and then she drew Library, obviously, because she played it. So he doesn't even need to play Defense Grid either then, by that logic. If you know her hand, you can just win the game. But that is how Outcome is supposed to do it, I guess. I've never seen it work like this, but wow, Bob.
Indeed, Bob Maher, the quick 2-0. Got a turn 1 kill in the first game. Second game, man, got to give Bob props for the sideboard. Like, he brought in Toxic Deluge. Rachel had not 1 but 2 Aethersworn Canonists. That would have destroyed me. That would have destroyed Reed Duke. I don't think either one of us sideboarded this deck in a way that could deal with multiple Canonists. But Bob had his Deluge, was able to kill them both, and he gets the thumbs up. One win on the board for Bob, 1 loss for Rachel, but a lot of interest left to be played tonight for both of them, obviously.
And 2 games for Bob, which comes down to it.
Good point. Yep, game score is the tiebreaker if it comes down to that. So, wow, that was a fun first match. Maybe not fun for Rachel. That was.
Oh man, I've got the jitters. I don't usually get nervous for anything, but for some reason I'm nervous for now. I'm excited to see what Webb's bringing and hoping my draws are good.
All right. Well, good luck to you, sir. We will go get set up for our second match. Stay tuned, everybody. Right after this break, it's going to be David against David. Stay tuned.